Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, The Wisdom Academy. Today, we're diving into a fundamental concept in economics that drives almost every market decision, the law of supply and demand. This theory is the backbone of how prices are determined in a market economy. Well, before we go into the details, let's break down what exactly this law refers to. In reality, we are talking about two laws. One, the law of demand, and two, the law of supply. Let's look at the demand side first. This law states that, all else being equal, in a market where buyers and sellers voluntarily trade, as the price of a good or service rises, the quantity demanded by consumers decreases. On the contrary, as the price of a good or service drops, the quantity demanded by consumers increases. Now let's take a look at the supply side of the coin. As the price rises, the quantity supplied increases. On the other hand, if the price decreases, the quantity supplied decreases. This relationship between demand and supply helps to establish equilibrium prices and quantities produced or consumed in the market. It's like a balancing act between buyers and sellers. Are you with me so far? Do not worry at all if this all sounds a little confusing at first, because it is all based on logical human interactions and common sense. After all, remember, economics is a social science, which means it examines human relationships within the framework of a society. In this case, we are examining how we humans buy or sell in the typical framework of a market of goods or services. Now, let's dig a bit deeper into demand. Demand is the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to buy at different prices over a specific period. It is usually represented by the demand curve. The demand curve graphically illustrates the relationship between the quantity of a good or service consumers are willing to purchase and its price. Demand can be influenced by factors like price, income, taste and preferences, and consumer expectations. Let's examine these factors one by one. As we explained previously, price affects the quantity consumers are willing and able to buy. It affects the quantity demanded up or down the demand curve. For instance, if the price of smartphones drops, more people might be tempted to buy a new phone and replace their existing used phone, hence increasing the overall quantity demanded for smartphones in the economy. Conversely, if the price of gasoline skyrockets, people might start looking for alternative modes of transportation like riding the bike or walking, decreasing the quantity demanded for gasoline. Let's look at the income factor. When income increases, consumers generally have more purchasing power, leading to higher demand for most goods and services. This shift is reflected in an outward movement along the demand curve, indicating increased quantities demanded at each price level. For example, consider the market for cars. As incomes or salaries rise in a society, more consumers can afford buying vehicles, causing an outward shift in the demand curve. Conversely, if income levels drop in an economy, people would prefer to wait on buying cars and keep riding the bus. This would reduce the demand for cars, shifting the demand curve to the left. Tastes and preferences play a crucial role in affecting the demand curve by influencing consumers' willingness to buy a particular good or service at various price levels. Preferences refer to the subjective judgments individuals make about the desirability of different goods and services, influenced by factors such as culture, advertising, peer influence, and personal experiences. Changes in tastes and preferences can shift the entire demand curve either to the left or right. If a good becomes more fashionable or desirable, consumers are willing to purchase more of it at any given price, leading to an outward shift in the demand curve. Conversely, if a good falls out of favor or becomes less desirable, the demand curve shifts inward. For example, suppose there's a sudden trend favoring electric cars due to concerns about environmental sustainability. This shift in preferences increases the demand for electric cars, leading to a rightward shift in their demand curve. On the other hand, if there's a health scare associated with a particular type of food, consumers may decrease their demand for that food, resulting in a leftward shift in its demand curve. Consumer expectations can significantly influence the demand curve by shaping current purchasing decisions based on anticipated future events, such as changes in prices, income, or product availability. These expectations can lead to shifts in demand curves as consumers adjust their buying behavior in anticipation of future conditions. For example, if consumers expect the price of a product to decrease in the near future, they may delay their purchases, leading to a decrease in current demand and a leftward shift in the demand curve. Conversely, if consumers anticipate an increase in prices, they may rush to buy the product now, causing an increase in current demand and a rightward shift in the demand curve. Similarly, changes in income expectations can also affect the demand curve. If consumers anticipate a future increase in their income, they may be more willing to buy certain goods, even at higher prices, leading to an increase in current demand and a rightward shift in the demand curve. Conversely, if consumers expect a decrease in income, they may reduce their spending, leading to a decrease in current demand and a leftward shift in the demand curve. Overall, consumer expectations about future economic conditions, prices, and incomes play a crucial role in shaping current demand levels and influencing the position of the demand curve in the market. Next up, let's talk about supply. The law of supply states that as the price of a good or service rises, the quantity supplied by producers increases, assuming all other factors remain constant. Conversely, as the price falls, the quantity supplied decreases. This relationship illustrates the positive correlation between price and quantity supplied, reflecting the profit motive of producers. Higher prices incentivize producers to allocate more resources to produce the good or service, aiming to maximize profits. Conversely, lower prices may lead producers to reduce production due to decreased profitability. The law of supply is fundamental in understanding how producers respond to changes in market conditions to meet consumer demand efficiently. Supply is also influenced by factors other than price. Such factors can be production costs, technology, government policies, or expectations. These aspects can cause an inwards or outward shift in the supply curve, depending on whether they provide less or more incentives for suppliers to produce. For example, if the cost of raw materials decreases, producers might be able to supply more goods at lower prices, causing the supply curve to shift to the right. Conversely, if there's a shortage of skilled labor, production costs might rise, leading to a decrease in supply. The logic being that producers would have a lesser incentive to produce. As a result, the supply curve would shift to the left. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The point where the demand curve intersects with the supply curve is known as the equilibrium point. At this point, the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied, and the market is in balance. If the price is above the equilibrium, it creates a surplus, meaning there is more supply than demand, which typically leads to market pressure, leading to a decrease in price until equilibrium is reached. This decrease in price is due primarily to competition between sellers trying to get rid of their unsold merchandise as quickly as possible. Conversely, if the price is below equilibrium, it creates a shortage, meaning there's more demand than supply, which typically leads to an increase in price until equilibrium is reached. This increase in price is due primarily to competition between buyers trying to get a hold of whatever is available in the market before other buyers take it away from them. Tokyo is known for its very high housing prices. The Japanese capital experiences recurrent price hikes that can be attributed to a combination of factors, including population growth, urbanization, and limited land availability. Tokyo's status as a global economic hub attracts a steady influx of people seeking opportunities, increasing demand for housing. Simultaneously, stringent zoning laws and geographic constraints limit new construction, limiting the housing supply. This imbalance between supply and demand tends to exert upward pressure on prices. According to the law of supply and demand, when demand exceeds supply, prices rise. In Tokyo's housing market, the high demand from a growing population collides with the limited availability of land and strict regulations, causing prices to soar. As a result, Tokyo experiences significant price hikes in its housing market, reflecting the fundamental principles of supply and demand at play in the economy. So there you have it, guys. The law of supply and demand in a nutshell. Understanding this concept is crucial for anyone looking to navigate the complexities of economics and make informed decisions in the market. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more informative content. And as always, thank you for watching.